Alright, let's just make sure I'm on the right tab. There we go. Alright, everyone. Welcome to the 20th race of the Cubecar season. We are coming to you live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway in, well, you could just take a guess on what state this is. A little bit of info about this track. It's a 1 mile oval similar to Richmond and Dover where we have raced before. It's very basic track, but it should have a lot of action here today. And now let's take a look at our starting lineup for today's race. And if I sound a little off, it's because I've been sick for the past few days, but if you hear me coughing, that's probably why. But here's your starting lineup for today's race. On pole is Shadow the Hedgehog, his first, or actually second pole of the season, I believe. And right beside him will be Squid Games, who still needs to win to get into the chase. Both of our keeps were suspended last week. Daisy and Gun will start in row 2, then row 3. Last race winner, Bob the Builder, and points leader, Hubris. Row 4, Doge Cube and Sheepmobile. Row 5, second in points, Sanic and BV. Row 6, Raccoon, who desperately needs to get better finishes to get back into the chase, and Among Us at the 53. Row 7, Lightning McQueen and Meloetta. Row 8, Fear and Blood Clot. Row 9, Cole and Goots. Row 10, Melee Fox and Racelin. Row 11, Sands Club and Donkey Kong. Row 12, Dragalia Lost and Hee Hee Ha. Row 13, Trolling and Igus. Row 14, Chow and Squidward. Row 15, Dumbcat and Jinx. Row 16, Eggdog and No Maidens. Row 17, Omori Cube and Packmobile. Row 18, Peckrain and Cubendorf. Row 19, Retro and Miku. Row 20, Omori Jr. and the Racer. And rounding out the field is Imposter in the 34. So that's your starting lineup for today's race. And it's going to be a pretty short one because this race is normally 300 miles.
Start your engines!
One of the shortest races on the schedule normally, and it is half the distance of that here, only 150 laps, so this one should be pretty quick. To compensate for missing an intended race on Wednesday, so I'll be doing 2 more races within the next 2 days. Next race will be at Pocono in Pennsylvania, and the one after that will be Nazareth, also in Pennsylvania. Both very similar tracks, but one is much smaller than the other. So we'll just have to wait and see how those races shape out. You'll definitely see what the differences or the similarities are once we get to those tracks. They're very angular, if I should say so myself, without spoiling anything in particular. It's definitely a very interesting track. I will be clearing my throat and coughing a lot because I've been sick with a cold recently, but shouldn't really affect the performance of the broadcast today, and thankfully this race is pretty short, like I said, so it shouldn't be much of an issue at all. Like I said, 150 laps here today at New Hampshire as we get ready to go green. Here at the Magic Mile, and green flag is out, and let's see how this race is going to shape out today. Shadow leads them off in the turns 1 and 2. Gun in the 47, who has not won a race yet this year, but has been very fast at a majority of tracks this season. Looking forward to getting another win, but Shadow already going off, popping off to first place. Gun's going to follow suit in second. Bob the Builder is in third. And there's your points leader, Hubris, right behind, looking to cap off another top 5 finish today. Try and extend her points lead by quite a bit. No cube yet this season has managed to make it to 3 wins. The only ones with 2 wins are Hubris, Doge Cube, and Sanic. And it'll be interesting to see if any of those 3 will actually get to 3 wins this season. Shadow leads them off pretty early. Looks like Daisy's gonna move around Squid Games for the 4th spot. As he continues to fall back on the outside lane. There's Sheepmobile in 30, who needs to win to get into the chase. He's actually on the playoff bubble now. Has been pretty bad at the beginning of the season, but has slowly been getting good finishes and making his way up to the playoff bubble. Now sits 20th in the playoff points. There's Doge Cube, and there's BV, who's also doing pretty good in points right now. I believe she is also on the bubble, but I'm going to have to double check after this race, at least in particular. Here at the Magic Mile, we don't take no prisoners. And Shadow the Hedgehog definitely not taking any prisoners for sure, as he will step out front early on in this one. Bob the Builder now trying to make a run for second. Potentially go for 2 wins in a row here at the Magic Mile. He's got help from Hubris in the 07 right behind him. And looks like he's going to get ahead of Gunn as well as Hubris in the 07. Looks like the inside line seems to be way better to run than the outside here. Actually, Gunn's got a pretty good run from the corner exit, but it looks like Hubris is going to have the advantage here of late braking. They're still side by side in turns 3 and 4. Actually racing pretty well with each other. These two have been threats for the regular season championship all year, but after Gunn's suspension, his points cushion fell back quite a bit. I believe he now sits 12th in points, so he's going to need some good finishes in these next few races to actually have a shot to go for that title. I don't think he has a very big chance, but he's got a shot for sure. But Hubris right now still challenging on the outside as Daisy at the 44 looking to give Hubris a little help to get ahead of Gunn. In turns 1 and 2, no, Daisy's going to break out of line, and they're still going to battle for third. Gunn washes up the corner a little bit, but he is still battling with Hubris back here. As now Bob the Builder looking to catch up to Shadow and pass him for the lead. He's making some slow and steady gains on that 3. And now Gunn gets back out ahead of Hubris to take away that 3rd spot. And now Doge Cube and Sans Club back here battling for position. And now he goes to the inside. That's the preferred line. A lot of these cubes are taken. He's going to try and take the lead away from Shadow here. Can he do it? No, he washes up in the corner, and Shadow's going to get away a little bit, and he is clear. And Bob the Builder is saying, maybe I should take another look at this later on and get a better pass for the lead and try and take that away. If Shadow wins this race out of some virtue of good luck, he will not be eligible for the chase since he is so far back behind in points after a series of dismal finishes later in his season. But he has been steadily making up some ground. He's had good runs, he just hasn't had the finishes to back him up. Because he's had a lot of mechanical failures this season so far. And as we're going to the outside try and get a run on Bob the Builder. Ooh, he actually might have a chance here to get back out front. And he barely stays ahead of the 46. And Shadow will lead another lap. And here comes Hubris trying to make a run on Gunn here. On the inside, let's see if she can actually take it away. There's Daisy in that 44, another cube who needs to win to get in, like Gunn and Squid Games back here. Because I believe there are only 2 or 3 spots left in the playoffs. And there are 3 cubes that are outside the playoffs that need to get in. Those are Goots after he finished last at Chicagoland last week after flipping it up turn 4. Raccoon is out of the top 30, as well as Miku, who is, I believe, 42nd in points right now. So those 3 really need to step up to get some good finishes. Let's see if we can find them real quick. There's Raccoon running 13th right now under battle from Lightning McQueen. He's having an unusually good run. Normally you don't see him up front, but he's having a pretty decent start to the race right here. Maybe he could get a very rare top 10 for that team. See if we can find our other cubes that have wins but are not in. There's Miku, who won at Dirt Bristle in a very climactic sense, won under the yellow flag, but she won a race and has not really made up for that in finishes this season. And you'd expect her to do good at a track like this, but unfortunately not looking like it today. Where is Goots? There he is, running 19th right now. I believe a good finish here today would put him back in the positions. McQueen is passing even. Now trying to pass Blood Clot and Hee Haw, but it looks like he fell back trying to fight Raccoon, and now he's trying to get to Fear once again. And Bob the Builder has passed Shadow for the lead once again, but now they've got 2 more contenders waiting in the wings back there trying to take that lead spot away. Bob the Builder needs those 5 bonus points to maintain a good points position before the start of the chase, as the points will be reset for our chase contenders. They'll all get a bonus of 2,000 points when the playoffs start. However, they will also get 5 points for every win they got. Uh-oh, alert on the chat box. It is the 20 of Egg Dog. Oh, and around he goes on the front straightaway. He must have gotten hit by someone as he was coming up the track. And is the caution flag out? Yes, it is. Caution's out for the first time as Egg Dog goes around on the front straightaway at lap 16. He must have gotten nailed by the 16 of the racer, but let's go back and see. Yep, he did. So he's running in the back of the pack. Also, another cube that won a race at Atlanta very early on in the season and has not had even close enough finishes to back up another win here. But he's running right with the race. He's actually trying to get up on Sam's Club, and then he realized, uh-oh, something's not wrong. I ate too much Taco Bell. And there he goes, right in front of the 16. And does 16 turn him? Yes, he does. So around goes Egg Dog, the winner in Atlanta, who really does not need a bad finish here today. And considering that was a .8 engine failure, he might be out of this one. But they're looking to come on to pit road already, so let's see who the winner off of pit road will be on this restart. Oh yeah, the pit road boxes are randomized here, so that'll make a good, interesting strategy battle. Shadow was the pole sitter, and Hubris started at the front, but she had a pit box way in the back, so that'll definitely complicate things for our leaders. Actually, Hubris might have a pretty good advantage here because she has a better pit box. I believe she didn't take tires, though, so it looks like Hubris will get out first. Very bold strategy early on from the 07. Sheepmobile gets out second. Shadow's taking 4 tires. Santa gets out third. McQueen gets out fourth. A lot of different strategies coming into play for our leaders. I believe they all took fuel, but we could see some differing strategies throughout this race now, which could be interesting to see. But McQueen will get out 4th. Bob the Builder gets out 5th, and Shadow 6th, Daisy 7th, Gun 8th, Squid Games 9th, and Doge Cube 10th. So 3 or 4 cubes making some difference in strategy early on in this race, so it'll be interesting to see how this will affect them later on. Normally you can't tell if the pit stalls are randomized because I did not texture the default pit stalls to be different, but oh well. It is what it is, I suppose. Right now our last place runner... Oh yeah, Egg Dog is already out of the race according to my ticker, so... An already early end to the race for the 20... And I believe this is his first last place finish of the year, so he will put himself on the last car statistics. And does the pace car's lights go off in the middle of the track, just like another modded track? Doesn't look like it, so it looks like we're going to have a bit of a longer yellow than we anticipated. So while we're waiting to go back green, let's do it through the field for our top 10. Based on how they're doing this season. Currently, your points leader is running up front with a lot of laps, so she will get 5 bonus points. But Hubris, not who I expected to do the best so far in this season. Definitely one of the best to run in this league so far. Pretty good shot to win the regular season championship, but she has been involved in some crashes this season. Has been pretty advertent to mechanical failures this season, which may prove good or may prove bad once the chase rolls around. Sheepmobile has pretty much been the opposite. Has had a bunch of mechanical failures, but is looking to get into the chase with a win or potentially with some better finishes. Hoping right now Sheepmobile needs more cubes like Hubris and Sanic and other cubes like Bob the Builder to win races, so that the more of the slots do not get filled up by ones that are outside the top 30, or he needs to win to get in because he is higher in points than those who are out of the chase right now. And of course, Sanic with his 2 wins mid-season. Lightning McQueen, who has had a pretty terrible season so far, but maybe he could get steal a win here today. Oh, I'm not kidding. He's not winning this race. Won't get S. We'll be going back to green this time by. The green flag is back out, and Hubris is going to lead them back to green. If anyone steps out of line first, we'll see it as Bob the Builder steps out of line first. He's going to make a move on Shadow. These two still battling for that 5th place spot, but McQueen's going to gatekeep that 4th place spot. A Sheepmobile trying to make a run to try and get past Hubris for the lead. Also, hi Tees, welcome to the stream. Your boy sat on pole and is now running 6th. Although I explained earlier that he is mathematically ineligible at this point to make the chase unless he like wins every race in the remainder of the season, which is possible, but it's very, very unlikely. But we had an early caution where Eggdog got spun out by the 16 of the racer on the front stretch, and now we have some differing strategies. These top 4 did not take tires, or they took only 2 tires during this first pit stop. As now you see Bob the Builder, who was leading at the time of the caution, is now getting ahead of Lightning McQueen, who was in 4th, now is going to fall back to 5th. But he's going to fight for that spot here on the back straightaway. Oh, he's going to actually let him go. Yeah, taking no tire. Those keep the fresher tires are definitely getting ahead quicker than... Oh, caution's back out again. Ooh, wow. There's a bit of a log jam on the back straightaway. Someone must have pounded the wall out of turn 3 and 4. And I guess I missed it, so we'll have to look back and see what happened. As we were back under caution again. At lap 19, I believe. Yeah, yellow again. So we'll... Also, hi, Red. Welcome to the stream. So it was right around... Well, it's been out for a little bit now, actually. It was now. Oh, it was... Oh, my God. The racer... Did he get revenge killed? Oh, Miku took him out. Actually. He went wide in the corner, got into the 80 of Racelin. They both slid going into turn 3. And it looked like they were about to save it, and then Miku just comes in and cleans them out. And concussion. Or that was the next gen car, but second caution of the day for the racer, who was coincidentally the same cube that took out Eggdog in that first crash. Oh, and all those cubes that took fuel only on that last stop are now coming down to take tires. So maybe the strategy plays are over. Also, Omori Jr. as well, who was running way in the back, so... Or maybe he didn't take tires. But now those cubes like Hubris and then will be further back than everyone else. Still be around mid-pack. Yeah, Hubris is going to be in between Squidward and Omori Sr. on this restart, and Sheepmobile and Sanic will also be mid-pack, but not exactly what they wanted to be for a caution to come out that late, because now they decided to take tires, and, well, now the strategy is pretty much equal again. You know, I said at the start this would be a pretty short race, and we've already had 2 yellows, so if this ends up being like Iowa from the original season 2, then this will be a very long race for sure. We're almost a third of the way through this thing already. Of 150 laps. This normally pretty short track. We've got 2 more laps to go until we go back green here. But now let's take a look at the cubes who need to win to get in through the season. It is Daisy in the 44, who was suspended last week after an incident at Columbia where she took out 5 of Hee Hee Ha intentionally in a wreck coming off of pit road. Returns this week, sits in the same row as the other cube who was suspended, the 47 of Gun. And, well, let's see, those two both need to win to get into the chase with only 3 slots remaining to get in. However, if we have 16 different winners that are all locked in, you can still have cubes that win, and they're higher in points than those that are already locked in, that can lock in spots themselves. It may seem complicated, but it'll make sense once the chase starts. Shadow, who just needs to win to cure his crippling depression that he has for being up front so many times and losing the lead due to like mechanical failures and stuff like that. But he really needs to win today in order to bring morale up for that team. Squid Games also needs to win to get in after having heartbreak at Charlotte, losing out to Igus in the final laps. Dogecoin has already won 2 races this season. There's Among Us in the 53 who won the All-Star race and hasn't really put those new boosted ratings to use just yet. He's doing pretty good right now, but only because the leader's pitted with their different strategies. Melawada in the 70 technically can still make the chase if she has a bunch of good runs and wins, because she is now above the top 30 in points. So we'll have to wait and see if she actually manages to do that. Raccoon is now below the top 35 in points after a dismal few last races, so he needs to get back into that top 30 to actually race for the championship. There's BV, who needs to win to get in. The 5's already won. 13 has won. Donkey Kong is actually on the bubble. I believe if the chase ended right now, Donkey Kong would be in? No, he would be out. He's below the cut line right now. Yeah, Cole needs to win to get in. The 11 Blood Clot is actually right around the bubble as well, but not exactly in the top 20 in the chase points. We're about to go green right here, back again. And we are green. Let's see if anyone will step out of line again. Trying to take that lead away from Bob the Builder. Now Shadow is going to step out of line first. Make a run on Daisy in the 44. Ooh, wow. Almost got into the back of the 44 of Daisy, but Daisy's going to keep that second spot. His air shoes keep having problems. You know what's funny? I actually saw a video right before this race started. It was like all the Shadow fans meeting up, and it was just a bunch of people on roller skates going down the highway. I thought it was pretty funny. I actually don't know if that was that posted in CGB? I actually don't remember. I don't remember, but I saw it in a channel. I was like, ha, that's funny. But now Shadow's going to try and make a move on Daisy here for that second spot. Try to take that lead away and lead some more laps in this race. He's currently led the most laps out of anyone so far, but if Bob the Builder keeps it up, he'll take that title away. Gunn now moving up in 4th. Dogecube now trying to battle Squid Games for 5th. Melawada has moved to 6th. Actually, it's to 7th. Having a pretty good run at 70. But the battle for the lead right here is still pretty tight and close. There's Shadow in the 3 trying to make another dive bomb on the 44 of Daisy. As Gunn goes up the track a little bit, and that's going to allow Squid Games to get some room back here and potentially make a pass around him. And Doge keeps going to give him a bit of a push, and Gunn gets a better run on the outside, and they're still going to be side by side for 4th. Now Dogecube goes to help Gunn. Actually, he's really indecisive on what he actually wants to do. But he slowed up Gunn a little bit, and now Squid Games is going to get away with that 4th spot. Now he's drafting off of Shadow to get ahead of that to the 3rd place spot, and he will. Yeah, I'm surprised Sega hasn't made shoes for Shadow yet, because they made some for Sonic with that collab with the soap brand, and I'm surprised they didn't make any for Shadow, because like roller skating Shadow shoes would honestly go hard. Like, imagine Shadow the Hedgehog Heelys. Like, that would be wild. Bob the Builder looking to win 2 races in a row. Something that no one has done this season just yet. Sanic has won his 2 wins came in 3 races, but that was not 2 wins in a row. But if Bob the Builder wins this race, he'd make it 2 wins in a row. Something that we've never seen happen in Cubecar before, not even in the original seasons. But he's got 2 contenders who desperately want to win. Right behind him is Shadow trying to battle Daisy for 2nd. Dives to the inside now, and he's going to get a bit of a run, but he's going to slide up a little bit in the corner. And they're going to be side by side, but he has the advantage on the front straight away. He's going to dive down to the bottom, and he's going to take that spot away from Daisy. Now he's looking for the lead. Right now, our only retirement of the race is the 20 of Eggdog, who was involved in that first accident where he blew an engine right in front of the 16 of the racer, and the racer spun him out into the front stretch wall. As those tire marks up front are for. right around there. Currently sits 38th. Still doing pretty good after getting that damage, and oh boy, there's a little bundle of Joey Omori Jr. running last once again of the running field. He's just trying his best. Although I think he'll have a pretty good shot once we get to Pigs Creek in a few races. Or Pocono, because that's Super Speedway. Or Indianapolis. I don't know if I'd count Indianapolis as a Super Speedway, but it's a pretty big track. But that is a race that is coming up very soon. That's actually the second to last race, I believe, before the... Actually, no. Watkins Glen is the second to last race before the playoffs start, and that's a road course. After that's Texas World, and then the chase will begin. But after our little bit of a delay on Wednesday, I'll actually be hosting 2 more races this week. One on Saturday, which will be the Pocono race, and one on Sunday, which will be the Nazareth race. As I mentioned earlier, those 2 tracks are similar in one way, but one is much smaller than the other, so you'll see when we get to those races. And they're both in the same state, although one of them is closed down. Bob the Builder has passed Shadow for the most amount of laps led in this race, but looks like Shadow's going to try and take that away. Squid Games is battling Daisy for that 3rd spot. Ooh, he's going to lose it here. Now Gunn is going to get an advantage on the outside lane, and Gunn is going to pass him for 4th, and here comes Doge Cube in the 00, trying to take away that 5th spot. Meanwhile, out back, McQueen back in his natural habitat of 30th place after running in the top 5. Hubris and Sheepmobile actually having a pretty hard time passing the cubes that are slow because they've been some of the fastest on the track, and they've just been having a really bad time as Squidward now in the 10 trying to pass Sheepmobile for position here. And back here you've got a few cubes that have already won, like Sanic, Goots, and Igus, who are back here, who really do not need bad positions here in this race. Shadow trying to go for the lead now. He's got a run on the 46 of Bob the Builder. Yeah, you're right. Your son and Cole's daughter are fighting for 2nd. Oh, and Daisy's coming back again. She's got a good run on the outside lane, but Shadow's got a bit more momentum. As they race with each other, that's going to allow Bob the Builder and the 46 to get away a little bit. And here comes Gunn. Oh, Shadow and Gunn reuniting once again. This is a very scary combo. Actually, both of our cubes that were suspended last race are now running right beside each other. That's kind of funny. They started in the same row. They started 3rd and 4th. So they're technically running where they started at the beginning of the race, just like a little bit inverse, because Gunn started 3rd, Daisy started 4th. Strange, isn't it? How things work out like that. There's Milliwood and Hee Hee Haw. The 5 Hee Hee Haws actually had a pretty good recovery, because he started around mid-pack, but now he's running 8th. Right behind Milliwood. He won at the Milwaukee Mile, which is the track that both Milliwood and Shadow debuted at. Same race that Miku debuted at as well. Bob the Builder still continues to lead. Now has led 10 more laps than Shadow has, whereas we're almost at the third of the way done through this race. Once we get the 75 lap mark, we will officially be halfway done. The lead battle still going on pretty strong as Shadow. Now looking to the inside. Can he get the lead away from Bob the Builder once again? As he sat on pole, he did manage to lead a few laps, so he will get 5 bonus points. And he got a very clean pass in turn 2. But he's not clear just yet. Now he is, and he will lead the race once again. Shadow and Gunn have a very good bond, but now Gunn has fallen to 4th. Daisy now trying to battle Bob the Builder for that 2nd spot. As Shadow will lead a lap once again. And will try and take that most laps led bonus away from Bob the Builder. Hopefully he can actually go ahead and win one today. Even though, like I said, he's going to have a lot of work to do to get into the chase with a win. because he's sitting plumb last in points right now. And now Doge Cube has helped Squid Games get up to this little pack of 5 cubes right here. Oh, trouble! On the front straightaway, someone got spun out up there. I believe it actually might have been Omori Jr. as they're all slowing down because he's further back. Caution's out yet again here at New Hampshire. Let's see what happened to bring out the yellow flag. Was it Omori Jr.? No, it wasn't. It was someone else. Let's fast forward a little bit. It was... Oh god, we still can't even tell who it was. Was it? Oh, was it Omori Sr.? It was Omori Sr. Got turned by Dragalia, lost to Raccoon. Got forced 3 wide. Yeet. Ooh, and that's not something you want to see as Raccoon. And he saved it pretty good. He did a pretty nice 360 and got away with minimal damage, but it's not good for Raccoon, who really needs a good finish here today. He falls back to 17th, and they're all coming down pit road once again. And like I mentioned earlier, the pit stalls here are randomized, which makes it a bit more realistic to real life, as usually that's decided by the drivers on where they want to pit based on their qualifying position. Shadow sat on pole, so he is the very first pit stall, so let's see if he takes tires or not this time by. Looks like he will. Let's see if Hubris or any of the others that didn't take tires won't take any this time. Looks like he's taking 4. Jinx is actually going to get out first on strategy in that 42. So he looks like he might have taken no tires. Santa gets out second. Sheepmobile gets out third. So it looks like he's playing on that strategy once again. So Shadow will come out 5th after that pit stop. Then Gun, then Squid Games, then Daisy, Doge Cube, and Donkey Kong will round out the top 10. So more strategy plays going into effect on pit road, as I believe Jinx only took fuel. I believe Sanic and Sheepmobile might have only taken 2 tires, and the rest of them after them took 4. So Bob the Builder was technically fastest out of all the cubes, but... Oh, wow, they're coming back onto pit road. What is Sheepmobile doing? He stopped in his pit box. He missed his pit. And now he has the respawn back in his pit, I believe. Wow. That might actually be bad for him, as Lightning McQueen now comes back on pit road. Goes for a stop and go. Uh-oh. Does he have a glitched pit stall? What's happening to the 30? What's going on back here? Oh no. Another catastrophe for Sheepmobile as he respawns on pit road, and so does Sanic. Uh-oh. If they have the infinite pit road glitch, that might be bad. But now Jinx has led a lap in this race, so they will get 5 bonus points. So now after Sheepmobile and Jinx have, or not Sheepmobile and Sanic have pitted, that means that the top 10 will now be Jinx, then Bob the Builder, then Shadow, then Gun, then Daisy for your top 5. And Squid Games, Doge Cube, Donkey Kong, Fear, and Among Us were out of the top 10. There's Hubris again, now running in 11th after she started and was up front for a majority of the race, had a slightly different strategy. 12th is Hee Hee Ha. 13th is Pac-Mobile, who we haven't talked about all day. 14th is Blood Clot. 15th is Cole. 16th is BV. And Melee Fox, Raccoon, Trolling, Dumb Cat, and Dumb Cat will be your top 20. Ooh, and Sheepmobile's still on pit road, so that is going to be pretty much undo his chances of winning this race. Not what he needed at all. Just mistake after mistake has pretty much defined Sheepmobile's season. Cannot secure a win for the life of him. I mean, neither can Shadow, but at least he has a stronger chance today than he has practically the whole season if he manages to get through this clean. Oh, he might have actually a bugged pit stall, which is what happened to Lightning McQueen at Richmond. Green flag is out. Jinx will lead them back to the green in the 42. But he took no tires, so he's going to be a little bit slower than the cubes behind him, who did take 4 tires. And that one behind him is Bob the Builder. The tire wear might not actually be that bad at this track since he didn't have tank tires. Ooh. Sheetmobile's now actually taking tires, so he looks like he had to fix some damage or something. It caused him to take that long. But he will fall multiple laps down. I believe he'll be 3 or 4 laps down when he gets off of pit road, which is a real shame. And he'll get off of pit road successfully. And now Stanek is back on pit road. Ooh, that might be bad. As now we have a battle for the lead. Bob the Builder and Jinx now running close together. But Jinx is actually holding off the leaders pretty well in that 42. Trying to get as many bonus points as he can to stay in potential chase contention, but he's not won a race this year. And here comes Bob the Builder once again trying to make a dive bomb for the lead. And looks like he'll get it this time by. Here comes Shadow trying to go for second around the cube, who took no tires. Let's see if Stanek comes back on pit road. No, he doesn't, so he does not have that infinite pit road glitch, which is good. Saves me the hassle. Now Shadow and Daisy both working together to get around Jinx. Squid Games and Gun battling for 5th, I believe. Yeah, it's 5th. It looks like Squid Games did pass Gun for 5th there. Now Donkey Kong trying to get around Doge Cube, and he does. And there's Among Us in the 53. Now Donkey Kong's going to battle with Doge Cube for the 7th spot. As now Squid Game's in the 0-1 getting around Jinx. So those 4 tires are definitely helping for our leaders, as Jinx falling back on the worst tires. Which may or may not screw him over strategy-wise, but we'll have to wait and see. Bob the Builder gets back out to the lead once again. Shadow and Daisy, Squid Games, and Jinx, and Gun, and DK. Basically everyone behind our leader right now. Yeah, basically everyone from behind our leader right now, all the way up to a Doge Cube, does not have a win this season. Is looking to win to get into the chase, and all of them are pretty much eligible except for Shadow, who is way behind in points. But here comes Daisy trying to go for second on the 3. Daisy not led a single lap this race and has had a pretty bad series of finishes lately, especially after her suspension from Colombia. Stanek is definitely much slower than he needs to be right now. Fastest lap of the race so far is by Bob the Builder. 27.731 is our fastest lap of the race. Yeah, Donkey Kong has had a pretty quietly decent season. Like, he's had some top 10 finishes. He hasn't been involved in very many wrecks, except for where he wrecked out at lap 3 on Martinsville. I believe that was his first last place finish of the season, first and only, I believe. But he's a past winner. In the original season 1, he won at Talladega in a clutch win where he passed in the last lap to win the race. So he's knows how to get in victory lane. He just needs to figure out how to do it again to get into the chase for this season. But another cube that is familiar with the chase is Squid Games, who has been in the chase before in the original season 2. Familiar with having that yellow banner on the front that has his name, but this time they will be blue banners to designate who the playoff drivers are instead of yellow ones. It was very, very close for me to pick between blue or purple banners to go up the front, but the banners will basically have their name, and I'm contemplating whether to put where they were seated at the start of the playoffs. So if the playoffs were to end right now, where's Hubris? Actually, Hubris has fallen back quite a bit since the start of this. Oh wow, Hubris has fallen back a lot. Probably because she pitted. But if the playoffs ended right now and Hubris would obviously get into the playoffs, Should have a little blue banner on the front, and it's a hubris and then first seed. Or she was seeded first into the playoffs because she was the regular season champion, so that's how the banners will look on the front of those cubes. And Sheepmobile and McQueen both falling back quite a bit. Now Sheepmobile 3 laps down in 40th, so this is not the day that he needs at all. Squid Game's moving up the field now, trying to battle Shadow for second, but Shadow's going to get away as Bob the Builder's lead continues to grow here at New Hampshire. Trying to go for 2 wins in a row. Can he do it? He's been up front. He's been close to wins all season. He almost won at Fontana, and he almost won at Atlanta, but he came just short of those wins. Now looking to win again here in Loudon, New Hampshire. As we're getting close to the halfway mark of this race. What's your idea? Cubecar tier list? That'd basically be like how they ran throughout, like a PR ranking would actually be pretty interesting. Like a Cubecar PR, like tracking their average finishes throughout the season. That could be a thing we could do next year. One thing I've been thinking of for next season is doing a PR and also doing like a random fantasy thing where it's like a side thing where you get a random cube each week and you get points based off where that cube finishes. Based on the actual Random Fantasies website that someone used to work on for NASCAR. And it's a thing that I've done for other leagues as well. But yeah, I've been thinking about doing a PR for Season 2. I've also been thinking about doing that. But a PR seems more manageable to do because I could just do that in the spreadsheet for average finishes and that would work out. Be like an average finishing, average qualifying. Add them together and divide it by 2 and that'd be your PR thing. But that's like kind of like how a Mario Party PR would work. If you watch Friends Without Benefits, you know how Mario Party PR works. But basically, like adding up stars total, roll totals, like doing all that and determining the PR. But I think a Cubecar PR would be pretty interesting. But it's a bit late in the season right now to do. I mean, I could still do an average finish recording for this season. It'd probably end up going to Hubris or Trolling because those two have had pretty consistent finishes throughout this season. I actually think it would go down to Trolling because Trolling actually has a more top 10 finishes this year than Hubris does, which is pretty interesting, to say the least. I believe he has 11 top 10 finishes and Hubris has 9. Gunn trying to make a move on Daisy, but falters back there. And the leaders have been started to separate a little bit compared to the last yellow flag. Donkey Kong has actually managed his position pretty well. He's now drafting right behind Gunn to get into the top 5. He hasn't had a good top 5 in quite a while, so he needs one, because he's right on the playoff bubble as well. So where other cubes like Sheepmobile have faltered, Donkey Kong is going to succeed, because I believe he's actually going to be in the top 16 if he finishes well in this race. So good for him. Check on the rest of the cubes that are in this little group. Melee Fox actually having a pretty decent run, so is Goots. And August has made up a few spots from her dismal start. And look who's running 18th right now. The last cube that spun out on that last caution, and the other one that got damaged. Omori Sr. running 18th, and Raccoon running 20th. Not ideal spots for the two of them, but they're definitely better than what they wanted earlier. Now Squid Game's running side by side with Daisy for that 3rd spot. He's got a little bit of that side draft. He's going to use that side draft to get up to the 44's right rear. Or left rear, but he is not going to make that pass just yet. Bob the Builder's still out front, but he is catching up to the lap traffic of Sanic. He's about, oh, how much faster is he? He's about 4/10 faster than Sanic, so it will be a slow climb to get around the 06, but definitely not what Sanic needs right now. So he's currently 2nd in points and looking to take that 1st place point spot away from Hubris before the end of the season. Because that's 15 bonus points towards the chase if you win the regular season championship. Now Daisy is going to get around Shadow for that 3rd place spot, but Shadow's got to run on the back straightaway. He's looking to take it away again, But these two are battling each other. It's going to help Bob the Builder stay out front. As he is currently 1 second ahead of Shadow and Daisy. But he got a great run out of turn 4 right there. Let's see if he actually gained. He actually did gain, even though he did battle Daisy. So he's looking to catch up to Bob the Builder and pass him to the lead once again. But he is leading quite a few laps right now in that 46. This is a combo you did not expect to see. He's got his coconut gun, and it fires in spurts. If he shoots you, it's going to hurt. As now DK still trying to find some draft behind gun as Daisy and Squid Games trying to get around Shadow. Squid Games is going to push him ahead of Shadow a little bit, but not by that much. Actually, Daisy will get a great jump ahead of Shadow here as she takes that second place spot away. Well, I know someone that'd be very happy with Daisy winning here today if she can, but let's see if she can actually gain on Bob the Builder. She's about 1.5 seconds back now. Actually, only 1.1. But now he's being slowed up by Sanic in the 06. That middle line actually seems to be really good for Daisy as she is catching up quite a bit, but she's gained a bit of a momentum to try and catch up to the 46. As Sanic's still running side by side with him, and now Daisy's right in his rearview mirror as she catches right up to the 46. The closest Daisy ever came to victory was at Vegas, where she led the most laps, got screwed over by a bad pit stop. Now she's right on the back bumper of the 46 of Bob the Builder, looking to take the lead away here at New Hampshire. So he has just crossed the halfway mark here. Sanic just did stall Bob the Builder. Now he's falling back behind Shadow and Squid Game. So he must have had a problem at one point and why he had to pit multiple times. He is the only one of two that have pitted 5 times in this race, and Sheepmobile was the only one to pit 5 times as well. Bucket Field's still doing pretty decent. This is the biggest battle we have right here in this pack of this group of cubes. Among Us actually trying to get around Fear here in 7th place. Finally putting some of the boosted ratings to good use, but who knows how long that'll be useful for. Because Among Us is actually above the cut line right now. He's like 30-something points above the cut line, so he technically would make it into the chase if it ended right now, but he still needs to get good finishes, and a top 10 here would be exactly what he needs. Ooh, and now Lightning McQueen is slowing down Bob the Builder, and that could allow Daisy and Shadow and Squid Games to catch up to our leader, as they're all within this big wad together. They both dive to the top, now dive back down to the bottom lane. Daisy actually slides up a little bit, but that middle line seems to be working out great for her. She gets great corner exit out of there. She has a bit of a run. Can she get past Bob the Builder here? She dives down to the bottom with a great bit of speed. And they're going to be side by side going into turn 4. Is she going to lead the lap? Looks like she is, and she's going to keep the lead a little bit. Daisy leads her first lap of the race. Can she take the lead away from that 46, who's been so dominant so far in this race? Now Squid Games has passed Shadow for 3rd, as now Daisy starts to fall behind a little bit, but Daisy did lead a lap, so she will get bonus points. And Squid Games has not led a lap either in this race, so he also needs those bonus points, but now they're all neck and neck right behind each other. There's now Squid Games and Daisy going almost 3 wide. Gives a little bit of a bump to the behind of Daisy. Gives her a little bit of that. And now the term that I'm thinking of does not show up in my head right now. Gives it a little bit of a bump draft going into turn 2. It's going to slow her down a little bit behind our leader. And Daisy will stay behind the 46 here. Now they're catching up to the 18 at Peccary next. Ooh, Huber's running 36th right now. So if Sanic and Hubers both have a bad points day today, we could actually have a new points leader that isn't those two. Or maybe the points leader, we might have a new 2nd place points leader, because Hubers is having a really bad race right now. Running behind Omori Jr. And now potentially being lapped by our leader. She was running up front earlier in this race, and now she's having a really bad day. But she was off strategy compared to other cubes, so she did take a bit of a gamble. Let's see how Peckrin in the 18 can actually slow down the 46 here. Ooh, we got an alert on the thing. It's McQueen on pit road. So McQueen just came down for his stop. Could we start seeing our first batch of green flag pit stops soon? But he is off cycle, so not by much though. So we could start seeing green flag pit stops soon. Daisy looking for the lead though, try and get past Bob the Builder. She's looking. Still side by side in turn 2. And she gets a great dive in turn 3. Gonna have a little bit more momentum than the 46, but they're still side by side. But now she has to get around Hubris, who's about to go a lap down. Not something you've seen a lot this season. Hubris is going to block the bottom lane. That's going to allow Bob the Builder to have a bit of an advantage. And here comes Squid Games looking for second if things go wrong with these two. Maybe even the lead. Ooh, Hubris is actually going to slow down Daisy quite a bit, as she almost got in the shadow there. Now Bob the Builder is going to get away as Hubris comes to pit road. So that differing strategy is definitely going to put her behind in terms of points, for sure. Now McQueen coming out of pit road once again. Oh, 66 of BV has a problem. Tire problem for BV. It says damage 0, but let's see if she actually comes down because of that. She's looking. No, she's not coming to pit road, so no problems yet for the 63, but she might be slowed down here. But now comes the hardest part of being a leader at a short track: lap traffic. Sanic also just came down pit road, so all those cubes that had been off cycle are now coming down. Uh-oh. Hubris is now coming down again, so they might have that glitch that causes them to pit infinitely, so that might be bad. That might actually cause a yellow flag if things go wrong. Yeah, that might actually be the case. Really bad for Hubris, too. If they continue to lose laps off of that, that could actually help Sheepmobile gain some spots, but it might not be worth it in the end. As Bob the Builder gets around Amori Jr., but now has to deal with Packmobile in the 97, who's just ahead. I believe Packmobile is also in the bubble for the playoffs, so he needs some more good finishes. But he's not having a good run right now. But now Amori Jr. blocking Daisy. Oh yeah, I think they might have that infinite pit glitch. Uh-oh, that's not good. I think the only way to fix that is to have them be involved in a wreck or have them DNF. And I can't really do that right now because I'm not using the custom EXE. Bob the Builder lapping these lap cars pretty easily here. That's McQueen and Fear? Was that Fear coming off the pit road? No, it's Sanic. So our top 2 in points are affected by the infinite pit glitch, which is definitely not something you want to see if you're a fan of those two. I'm blow my nose real quick. Ooh, that was a good one. Alright. Okay, they're definitely being affected by the infinite pit glitch. Now Daisy has caught back up to Bob the Builder once again. Oh, Lightning McQueen has just retired for no fuel. That's a rare thing for sure. Wow, that's a rare DNF message. I don't even know how he actually managed to run out of fuel, but he's done for the day. Interesting. Interesting how that works. But now battle for the lead. Daisy and Bob the Builder going at it once again. As Hubris comes back on pit road. Sheepmobile's gained 2 spots from those two constantly going on pit road again. Leaders still side by side here. Daisy taking another dive back between Bob the Builder and our leader. Oh, and Santa just retired for no fuel as well, so maybe pitting so much. Because they're not taking fuel on these pit stops, so this infinite pit glitch is making them run out of fuel. So Hubris might actually be next to DNF from that, because Santa just retired from that. Ooh, that's bad for both of them, because if they both finish right next to each other, they could still be very close in points. Weird. We're going to have some questions after this race, for sure. But Daisy now back out front ahead of Bob the Builder. She can technically still, well, no. I don't think she'd be able to lead the most laps if she manages to lead the rest of this race. Actually, it would be a tie, I think. No. I don't think she'd be able to get most laps led bonus. She'd be pretty darn close if she leads the rest of this race. She's actually being a pretty decent amount ahead of Bob the Builder. Squid Game's now trying to go for second. But green flag pit stops should be coming up pretty soon, and if that happens, they may be able to make it to the end on fuel. It just depends on when. Now, Packmobile is in, and now Hubris has stopped pitting. So let's see if Packmobile actually does take tires. Or no, he already did pit. So he's the first one to come down for green flag pit stops, because he actually had taken time to come on pit road. So it looks like green flag pit stops might be underway pretty soon, but Packmobile is our first taker. But Daisy just needs to be out front after pit stops end. See, he's on pit road now. Oh, it's the 19 of August of the problem. A fuel leak on the 19. Let's see if she comes down pit road early. Yes, she will. Might not actually be the worst thing in the world because the green flag pit stops are about to start. But this is a cube that has won a race this season but has been pretty inconsistent in finishes. So, Packmobile actually might be affected by that glitch too. If the glitch is that case, then if we do run in New Hampshire next season, we'll just switch it over to the vanilla version of the track. So she is taking tires, and she looks like she will be the first one to come down for quote-unquote green flag pit stops, but trouble for the 19 of August, another mechanical failure in this season. But Daisy continues to lead here at New Hampshire. Bob the Builder actually goes way wide in that corner. He's going to lose a lot of momentum, but he stays ahead of Squid Games, looking to catch up to Daisy once again. He actually did gain in that lap, so he has to pass her before pit stops start. Yeah, she burnt the toast. This is a big oof. She's actually not gotten off of pit road just yet. Actually, I think she has. No, she's not, so she's going to definitely lose multiple laps here. Unfortunate for that 19, who is in the playoffs, but just needs to have a very clean rest of the playoffs so that she actually stays above the top 30 in points. I believe she's actually 8th in points right now, 8th or 9th. So it isn't too hard of a loss, but actually still will be a pretty big loss in points for that 19. Daisy continues to lead. Bob the Builder falls back a little bit. Squid Games now has actually caught up to the 46. He goes to block of the... Oh, his Packmobile stopped on track. Oh, this might be bad. He might have actually ran out of fuel Oh, Fear just barely grazed by there. He's on the racing line, so that might actually be a caution. Which might actually be good for our leaders, because they'll have to pit soon. He is coasting around on the apron. Is that going to break? Oh, Hubris and Raccoon get together, almost spin each other out. No caution just yet for Pac-Mobile, but he is almost stopped on track on the back straightaway. He might actually be out of fuel. And Pac-Mobile's another cube that's around the bubble, so he did not need a bad finish here today. I don't think he's going to be able to make it to pit road, though. No yellows still. He might actually be out of fuel, which is weird. But if anyone is coming to pit right now, that'd be bad. Oh, Jinx is now coming to pit, which means that green flag pit stops might actually start soon, because Jinx did not take tires last time. And looks like he's going to make it to his pit stall. Thankfully, his pit stall is one of the first ones. Does he retire from no fuel, though? Oh, caution's out. We didn't have a spin, so it might have actually been for Pac-Mobile. But caution's out again. Fourth caution of the day at lap 106. I believe it was for Pac-Mobile, so let's see if he actually does retire with no fuel. No, not yet. What a weird race. But now everyone's coming down pit road, so this is around the time when they would actually come down. It's actually really good for Jinx, because he might gain a lot of spots here. Hubris is staying out, as she's a lap down. Actually, all the cubes that are a lap down are staying out, and so is Jinx. So let's see who will be the leader once we come off of pit road. I guess still on pit road there, so still fixing that oil leak issue. Daisy's got the third pit box right here, even though she started fourth, so she's taking 4 tires here. There's Pecker and Raceland, who had the second pit box. And she's going to get out ahead of Shadow, and she will win the race off of pit road. Bob the Builder's second, Squid Game's third, Among Us fourth, Donkey Kong fifth. Sixth is Meloetta, seventh is Amori Sr. Eighth is BV, ninth is Gun, 10th is Doge Cube. Shadow lost a lot of spots on pit road there, so he's going to have to try hard to get back up front, past a bunch of competitive cubes. But you wouldn't expect to see Omori Sr. and BV up front, because they've had some issues in this race. Omori Sr. was involved in a crash, is now back in the top 10, but there's Pac-Mobile, who's merging with the line, so he looks like he's trying to be with these leaders. And there's all the lap cubes coming on pit road. Sheepmobile back on pit road. Hubris is staying out, I think, in general. So, interesting strategy by the 07. What is Sheepmobile doing? He is stuck sideways in his pit box. Yeah, we might be transitioning. If we do return to New Hampshire this year, we might return to one that's less glitchy, because this one seems to be pretty glitchy, which is really unfortunate for a bunch of those cubes. I guess still on pit road. Looks like everyone else is a lap down. Got their changes in pretty quickly. But Daisy will be your real leader when we come back to green. Hubris is 6 laps down, so she will line up on the inside lane, most likely. I guess now 8 laps down. Running 38th. Not a good position that 19 wants, so she is still on pit road. Oh, wow. So Daisy and Pac-Mobile. Wait, what is Pac-Mobile doing? Oh, he's a lap down. So that's why he's getting in the inside lane. Anyone else taking the inside lane? Omori Jr. and Raceland are. We're both 1 lap down. Or Pecorine, I mean, not Raceland. Raceland's on the lead lap. Running 21st right now. But But Daisy will be your leader once you go back to green. Bob the Builder will be second. Squid Game's third. Among Us fourth. And Donkey Kong will be fifth. 4 of those cubes have not won a race this season. Actually, 8 of the top 10 cubes right now have not won a race this season. Those who have won a race, Bob the Builder and Doge Cube. Actually, no, 7, because Omori Sr. won a race as well. I keep forgetting about that. He won at Columbia. In a photo finish, mind you. But back to green again at lap 109. Less than 50 laps to go at the Magic Mile. Who's going to take it all in the end? Daisy's going to be stuck on the outside line for quite a bit. Squid Game's going to be the first one to take the advantage on the outside. She's got to dive to the bottom as soon as possible as Pac-Mobile's... Ooh, what is Pac-Mobile doing? He's going way on the bottom. Oh my god, Jinx! Stuck in the middle of the track right there. They all dive around him to avoid him as Gooch just blew an engine right in front of the field. Oh god, just a roller coaster of events right there. How are we going to be under caution again? And Melee Fox as well. What is going on? Oh, I think he actually might have spun out. Let's see. Oh, he did. He got turned by someone. He got turned by Fear. He got walled by Fear. And he got hit by Sans Club. And now, 5th caution of the day for Goots and Melee Fox, who both will likely be out of the race. Yes, they will be. So Goots is out. Sheepmobile's... Oh man, Sans Club and Jinx got together, and now Sans Club is going to be out of this one as well as he's smoking his... What in the world is going on? Melee Fox is still trying to get that thing around. Get that thing off the road, bruh. It looks like he took my advice and he has gotten that thing off the road. Where's Daisy? Oh, she's right behind. So she must have lost the lead under that section. So now Bob the Builder's back out front. What a topsy-turvy turn of events in this race. For sure. Looks like none of our leaders are coming down. As Sans Club now retires from accident damage. And Goots is going to retire as well. 2 retirements in a row for Goots. That is definitely not what he wants. Especially since he has that win. And Melee Fox is retired as well. So that's going to be more spots for Igus, Pac-Mobile, and Hubris. More points for them, but still not good finishes for them, which is unfortunate. Igus still on payroll. She might actually have a bugged pit stall, which is even worse than we initially speculated. Oh, and Omori Cube is out as well with an engine problem. What happened to Omori Cube? They had a gearbox failure. When did they blow up? They must have... Oh, they blew up right when the caution came out. Wow, so many engine failures in a short span of time. So another good race gone wrong for Omori Sr. And I believe that will put Raccoon in the top 10 as well as Gun once again. So potentially looking to see a good finish for the 45 today. Is that Ray still in Peckering in the top 10? No, Peckering's a lap down. We will not be going back to green this time by. We'll have to wait a couple more laps. As the field lines up once again. Suddenly so many problems under this 5th caution. It's taking so many cubes out of the race. He had an engine failure, and so did Goots, Sans Club, and Melee Fox. So 4 cubes all taken out in separate incidents. I believe Jinx will survive, but we'll run 3 laps down. And I guess might have a glitched pit stall. So yeah, we are definitely getting rid of this version of the track for next season if New Hampshire even returns, but this version is definitely very glitched. For sure. Going back to green next time by, I believe. Yep. All the lap down keeps taking the outside. But Pac-Man will not be the leader. It'll instead... Actually, will he be the leader? No. I was thinking of the inside lane. But Bob the Builder will be the leader. Squid Game second. Daisy third. DK fourth. Among Us fifth. Milewetta sixth. BV seventh. Definitely a lot of cubes have been up front this race for sure. So it's still not over yet. We've still got 35 laps to go here at Loudon, New Hampshire. I don't even know who's going to win. It's going to be close. I can feel it. Green flag is back out. How many more cautions are we going to have? As Bob the Builder is going to slightly get ahead of Pac-Mobile here, but he will not get out of the inside lane. Barely any of our leaders will. Actually, he will get ahead of Pac-Mobile this time. Sheepmobile is actually blocking Daisy. Ooh, that's bad for Daisy, as now Squid Games and Bob the Builder get ahead of everyone else. Daisy really needs to get around these lap keeps here to get back out front. Oh wow, Daisy's gonna do the almost did a crossover move on Sheepmobile there. Sheepmobile's actually pretty fast still. Even though he's 35th, multiple laps down, still pretty fast compared to some of the other cubes. Bob the Builder's gonna get ahead with a pretty decent advantage though. Squid Game's still second, Daisy multiple cars back in third. Then Milewetta now fourth, as Among Us has fallen further back. Daisy still needs to get around these lap cubes. Having a hard time getting around them, though. She really needs another yellow to have another chance to get back up front once again. Is Milewetta trying to pass her? We got another message in the box. It's Amore Jr. on pit road. Yeah, I guess definitely has a bugged pit stall, which is unfortunate. Actually, Milewetta has passed Daisy for third. Now DK and BV are going for fifth. As DK slides up the track, and here comes BV for that fifth spot. There's Among Us in the 53. Another chat message. It's Amore Jr. on pit road again. So Amore Jr. might actually have that pit road glitch. Yep, very functional, very good track. Thanks, game. Now Daisy looking to pass Milowetta yet again, but they're going to have a lot of trouble passing these lap cars to get back out front, so they might just have to settle for third and fourth at this rate if we continue to go green. But Bob the Builder already getting a pretty massive lead ahead of Squid Games. Squid Games cannot settle for another second place finish. He needs to win to get in. Right now it's looking pretty likely that Bob the Builder will go for a repeat win in this race. We've got another alert. It's the O2 again, so might have that no fuel issue later in the race. Getting kind of late for me, or just because I've been sick. I can been perceiving things as being later than usual. BV now is up to fifth, actually, now trying to challenge Daisy for fourth. I believe BV is pretty close to the playoff bubble as well, so she needs a good finish here if she tries to pass Daisy. Lap Cubes with Pac-Mobile and Jinx still battling it out. As Bob the Builder continues to get away now with a 2.6 second advantage, his biggest lead of the race so far. Squid Games really needs a caution to get back up to our leader. So does Daisy, and so does BV, and so does Donkey Kong. Milowetta is actually making decent progress on passing these cubes for position. Actually, might be the fastest one on the track right now. Definitely running pretty good laps compared to Bob the Builder. But she is passing Sheepmobile, now passing Jinx. So, if she doesn't win the race, she'll at least get a good top 5, which is what she needs to get into the chase if she ends up winning a race later this season, within the next 6 races. Now, his lead continues to grow to a 3.1 second advantage over Squid Games. Looking like the Chicagoland race last week, all over again. O2 on pit road once again. As Milowetta trying to pass Squid Games for a second. If she is faster than Bob the Builder for sure, then she could probably actually go for the lead. Actually, she's way slower. She's 3/10 slower. Bob the Builder continuing to run flyers compared to everyone else. As Amora Jr. continuing to lose more laps. The last time Milowetta finished second was at Martinsville, where she could not gain to No Maidens, who ended up winning that race. Where is No Maidens right now? Running 12th. Not a bad day for that team. Now she's taking another look on the inside. With help from Sheepmobile, she might actually pass Squid Games here. Yes, she does. Very cleanly. But now, Bob the Builder's lead continues to grow to a 4.8 second lead. He absolutely does not need another caution before this race ends. Because that means they'd probably pit under the caution, so Milowetta really needs a yellow right now. As now BV has passes Daisy for 4th. Now trying to go for Squid Games next. And look who's back in the top, who's in the top 10 for the first time today. It's the 25, which Galia lost. Now trying to pass Donkey Kong for 8th. Was sitting in the back pretty much this whole race, started out back, and now has made her way up front to the top 10. Good run for that 25 team who has won a race at Phoenix and is now looking to go into the chase with some stride and some confidence. For sure. No confidence. And there's the last few cubes in the top 10. Blood Clot, Doge Cube, and Trolling. Actually, one cube that has actually made up a good amount of positions since the last restart is Cole in the 28. Now running 14th, is running in the top, outside the top 30 at one point, and has now capitalized off the other cubes having problems. Now running with no maidens, trying to battle for 14th, and having a pretty good run in that 28 team. And Daisy, his teammate, also having a fantastic run in 5th right now. Could be out front winning the race, but not right now at the moment. The lead shrunk by a little bit for Bob the Builder, but I don't think Meloetta is going to have enough time to actually gain on him and win the race. Actually, it might be better for Meloetta to let Bob the Builder win again, because that means no more chase slot to be filled up by a new winner. So all she can do is just run to the end and make sure that no more cautions happen. Bob the Builder looking to capitalize on another win today. Beefy's actually moved up to 3rd. Another fantastic run by that 66 team. Now up to a 5-second lead ahead of Meloetta. And now Jinx and Cheatmobile scrapping for the 29th spot. They are both... Actually, no, they are not on the same lap, so that would not make a difference. Now Squid Game's trying to run down BV for 3rd. Daisy trying to hold off Shadow for 5th, but he's got a pretty good distance ahead of him, so he doesn't have to worry about that much. But Shadow just needs to end the day with a top 10 finish, because that's all really he needs at the end of the day. Dragalia Lost actually moved up to 7th, ahead of Among Us and DK, so running pretty good. And Cole's moved up to 13th. Blood Clot falling back to 14th, almost 15th now, to no maidens. Gonna blow my nose again real quick. Yeah, having a cold is so good. Bob the Builder continues to make more and more of a lead ahead of the 70. Like I said, does not need a yellow right now. Needs to finish the race in good condition. No problems whatsoever. And he will be the first cube of the season to get 2 races in a row with a win. And that would bolster his points even more. He's actually running pretty good in points right now. I don't know exactly where he's running, but he may actually be the points leader. Kasanik is out, and Hubris is running 31st right now, so they both will not get very many points, and Bob the Builder will get the most amount of points possible for winning the race, leading a lap, and getting the most laps led, and getting the fastest lap, which is not worth anything, but he's having a fantastic race right now. And the same thing happened last week, too. Last race at Chicagoland. Led the most laps, pretty much dominated. So looking to win another one here today at New Hampshire. Is basically checked out from the rest of the field right now. The Racer and So Retro scrapping for 27th and 26th. They're both actually on the lead lap right now. Probably good run, especially after So Retro or the Racer is actually involved in that second wreck. Meloetta now 2 seconds ahead of Beavy, who's in third. Trying to capitalize on another second place finish for that team. Another good position. But what a season for Bob the Builder. Looking to potentially go in and win a championship. As he has now led 100 laps in this race out of 150, so that's very impressive. Very impressive. Right now, all he needs to do is cruise to that first win of the season, or second win of the season. Meloetta has closed the gap a little bit to 4.93, but I don't think it's going to be enough for our leaders right now. 3 laps to go this time by. Ike is still stuck on pit road, so she definitely has a bugged pit stall, which is very unfortunate. White flag, last lap. This time by for Bob the Builder, looking to win 2 races in a row. Like I said earlier, going into the chase with some confidence is something you definitely want to do. And confidence is definitely what he needs. But he's having a pretty good season already, so confidence is probably at a very good high. But coming out of turn 4 for the final time, Bob the Builder goes back-to-back in repeat races and wins at New Hampshire. Having a very dominant day for him today, leading 104 out of 150 laps. Over 2/3 of the race distance. Now let's look at your top 10 after today's race, as the leaders cycle through. Bob the Builder wins, Meloetta second, BV third, Squid Games fourth, Daisy fifth, Shadow sixth, Dragalia seventh, Trolling eighth, Among Us ninth, and Hee 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 Ha gets in the top 10, and Donkey Kong just barely falls out of the top 10, so he will not get that top 10. But thank you all for tuning in today at New Hampshire. I'll replace this track with a more working version next time, but next race will be at Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. So make sure to tune in for that one tomorrow night at 8. But we'll be on for that one. Thank you all for watching, and good night.